Hi everyone, I'm Jess from Cook and Create. Happy National Science Week. To celebrate Science Week, we would like to conduct a scientific experiment with you, but not just any scientific experiment, a food science experiment. So we are going to make ice cream in a bag. So what you will need to start is 2 good quality Ziploc bags, one smaller than the other. You can obviously see which brand I like here. I like these because they have the double Ziploc, which means that we won't have any leakages. So that's the first thing that we need, is a small bag and a larger bag. You will also need 1 cup of half and half. So I have used half the cup of whipping cream and the other half cup of full fat cream. It makes a nice, creamy, rich ice cream. You'll also need a tablespoon of sugar and a teaspoon and a half of vanilla extract. So that's what you'll need for the actual ice cream. You will also need ice and salt for the sciencey bit. So the first thing I am going to do is pop my ice cream ingredients into the bag. Simple as that. So we've got my cup of half and half going straight into the bag. Looks fantastic. Get all the last little bits out. We don't want to waste any ice cream. You will then need to pop in your sugar. So it's a tablespoon of sugar. You can use caster sugar or granulated sugar, it doesn't matter. And you will need a teaspoon and a half of vanilla extract. Again, you don't need to use that, but it gives it a nice rich flavour. So it's a pretty good one. So I'm just measuring that out, sorry. 1 and a half. It doesn't need to be exact. Here we go. So what's really, really important now is that we get all of the air out and we double Ziploc, because we're going to be working with salt and we don't want salty ice cream. So here's my mixture. I'm going to just press it really gently to get all the air out, and I'm going to make sure those are nice and sealed. Okay, so that's the first part of the experiment. So they're my ingredients. You will then need, in your larger bag, this is nice and easy, to put in about half a bag full of ice. So here's some I prepared earlier, about half a bag full. You will then need to put in the salt. So I have got nice fine table salt. You can also use coarser salt. It's probably better to use coarser salt in terms of not getting a salty ice cream, because it's a little bit easier to wash off, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to wash the bag. So that just gets popped in. This. Now, this is where the science happens. So now what we're going to do is pop this double Ziploc bag into the ice, and we're going to put another half or so of ice on top. So you've got your ingredients in here, and your ice and your salt. I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to make sure all the air is out. I'm going to double Ziploc the bag. Okay, so you've got ingredients and your ice. What you then need, and this is really, really important, are oven gloves, because a chemical reaction is going to happen with the salt and the ice. So the salt is really, really, really going to reduce the temperature of that ice, and that's going to be really tough on our hands, okay? So I've got my oven gloves. Easy as that. And I'm just going to spend 5 or 6 minutes moving it around like this. Okay? Now what that will do is it will form ice crystals in your ice cream, and by agitating it and moving it around, we're breaking down those big ice crystals. Otherwise you'll have big shards of ice crystals cutting through your ice cream, which you don't want, because it's the water within the mixture that's setting, freezing at a lower temperature, and you'll have big shards, but we're breaking those down to get the texture of ice cream that we know and we love. So it's just 5 or 6 minutes of this. So what you will notice is the ice has really, really broken down and melted. My bag's actually dripping. In the food industry, when you make a solution of salt and water, it's called a brine. Now that brine has really reduced the temperature way below freezing point. It's drawn out any sort of heat from the ice cream solution, and it's frozen really, really quickly. So just to touch that bag is actually almost painful to your fingers. You can see, if I squeeze ice cream solution. You can see it's really nice and thick. So I'm going to attempt to take it out. Now, oh, it's very, very cold, obviously. And you can see it's actually really quite thick. Now, it's up to you at this point if you want to pop it in the freezer just to get really nice and hard. This is just personal preferences. Or, just with a tablespoon or a teaspoon, you can open your bag. Before doing that, you should probably give it a quick rinse. Just to make sure there's no salt. Now, I'm going to use the tablespoon just to agitate it and break down any large ice crystals that we've got. But I was very active, my arms are aching. And you can see I have made ice cream in a bag. So, you can see the texture. Perfect. So for the kids, that is ready to go. That's a scientific experiment. You can explain to them how it reduces the temperature. The salt draws out any sort of heat from the ice cream mixture, really, really reducing the temperature. It's aching my hands to touch it. And how quick was that? So they'll be interested. They won't lose interest. And it's great. And they get the reward of the ice cream at the end. Just make sure you quickly wash your bag, because if there's any salt water, any brine in here, and you open your bag, it's going to fall in. You can serve that with sprinkles. You could put some raspberry sauce in there, some fresh fruit. There's lots of different ways to serve that, so that's personal preference. And that's it really. So thanks for sticking with us. Sorry, my video is a little bit not the slickest. And I'm going to go and enjoy my ice cream. If you want to follow us, we are on Facebook, Cook and Create Adelaide. Also on Instagram, Cook and Create_Adelaide. And our website will have lots of fun things like this, lots of recipes, lots of our events on there under the events tab. Thanks for following, guys. Bye.